All right, guys, promised you another very special guest, and this is another one of the friends of the show. We talk about a lot of friends of the show, and this is one of them. JD Shelburne with us today, and JD excited about the album, about the new single, and man alive, the video's blowing up as well. Good to see you, brother.
Hey man, thanks so much for having me on. It's good to see you too, man. We go way back. Good to see
It's
your face.
it's so funny. I was looking back, and I don't know exactly how many years we've been following, but man alive, it's been a bunch of singles back there. And I remember you did the takeover back during
Yeah,
during coronavirus. Man, we got some history, brother.
we do. I think I met you. I think my first single came out in 2018. So I want to say I met you in 18, and then we just kind of continued a relationship, being friends all through COVID when we all, were kind of going through that weird time. And then on the backside of COVID, we kept in touch. And of course, I follow you on socials. I see your social stuff on Facebook. So it's finally good to kind of reconnect with you and catch up.
That's right. Well, JD, talk about the new album, Neon Hallelujah. Want to talk about that one first, and what it's been like, the response, the reception, and man, I've been like you said, you've been following me on socials. I know exactly what you've been doing on socials, and it's been growing. It's been growing. It's
Yeah.
amazing to watch. And what's it like now having a new release out with the growth that you've been able to see, brother?
Yeah, I started this business way back in like '05 and have just built my fans literally one by one the old fashioned way, but it's just paid in full, uh, just more than I could ever imagine. No, the album that came out the end of last year is called Neon Hallelujah. I'll tour on that record the whole rest of this year and into next year. It's been my sixth record I've recorded out of this town. I've had six original albums, which is hard to believe. I put an album out every 2 years.
Mhm.
Neon Hallelujah has just been a great momentum pusher. Again, every album that I've ever put out, every couple years has just kind of kept me pushing up the ladder. And this one's kind of more special because I got to record with the 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐄𝐓 Boys. If you look at the record, I actually cut Amazing Grace. I got to go in studio with the 𝐂𝐿𝐍𝐄𝐄𝐓 Boys. We became friends through a former PR rep a couple years ago, and Joe and I kind of connected and kind of just hit it off, kind of like you and I. And one day I just sent him a text, and I was like, "Man, what's the odds of getting to record with you guys in studio?" And he never wrote me back. And then one day, about 2 weeks later, my Twitter starts blowing up, and I'm like, so I get on my Twitter on my phone, I'm looking, it says 𝐂𝐿𝐍𝐄𝐄𝐓 Boys come out with a tweet, and it says, "This week, or no, this next month, we are recording with Travis Tritt and JD Shelburne." I about fell out of my seat. I text Joe. I was like, "Are you serious? You mean I found that on Twitter?" And so we ended up cutting the record or that single in April last year at Day Win Studios in Hendersonville and made my record. So, in my opinion, man, that's the best record I put out. Having them on there. And then shortly after that, they retired from the road. This is their last farewell tour, and Joe's retired since from the band. So I hit them at just the right time, and luckily Joe made it happen.
Yeah, and I think that's why we hit so well, because we have so many of the same heroes, of course, regionally too. I mean, the Louisville, Cincinnati, and the
Sure.
Madison area. Tell us what is your favorite thing to do summertime? Are you out on the river? Are you a river rat there around Louisville?
It's funny, when I grew up in Taylorsville, which is about 30 minutes from downtown Louisville, kind of on the outskirts of town. My parents, we grew up along the Salt River, and so for years and years, man, we would always wade and fish and just kayak down the river. And I don't get to do it as much anymore. But when I do go home to my parents' farm, you know, uh, it takes me back, man. So I really enjoy going back home with my family. I love to, I haven't fit. It's what's crazy is I haven't fished in forever, and my son's 3 now, so I feel like I need to start taking him out. But um, it's just anytime I can get back home to the farm and see my folks, it's just the same place it was 30 years ago. And so that's when I think of downtime. What I do in the summertime is try to get home as much as possible, and um, you know, playing in Kentucky a lot allows me to do that. So.
And tell us about I know you did another one of your hometown concerts,
Yeah.
and to have the hometown support. I mean, you blew it out of the park the first time around. I mean, did you have a little worries in the back of your mind
Oh
going,
yeah,
oh
man.
man?
I mean, they say, I wanted to become uh, a success in my hometown first before I left for Nashville and the surroundings. So I wanted to build a fan base in my hometown first. That's really where it all started for me. And along with that, I've had lots of great support through my hometown. But going back home and putting on a free concert for fans is a little nerve wracking because there are a lot of jealous people and there's a lot of great fans, and you just never know if people are going to show up or if people are gonna, hate on you for coming back home, and it's just like, and I understand that's part of the game, but the last few times I guess I've done 5 or 6 hometown shows now, and they have been gargantuous. I mean, it's just unbelievable the turnout of these events. I mean, I've spent a lot of money on promote. I've raised money myself. I literally asked my hometown to just close the streets, and I bring everything else in from a VIP tent lounge to the band production, the food court, everything. And so I've got a lot of great sponsors that have made this possible. But going back home is nerve wracking. But I tell you, man, when it gets time to showtime, and I see these people flooding through the sidewalks and between the buildings and put their chairs up, it's a cold chill moment, man. And I've never been disappointed yet. It's just been incredible turnouts. But 2021 was a massive crowd. I mean, probably 7 or 8 thousand people. Last year's crowd was a little less than that, but it rained, and so, but last year's crowd was in my eyes was seemed just as big, but definitely was less than the 21 crowd. But it's just those hometown shows are so rewarding, man. You know what's crazy? In 2021, I sold more merch at that concert than I've ever sold my whole career. So it was a big power moment for me, and to know people buy my merch back home. So it's pretty cool.
Now the new single "Cars and Trucks," the video blowing up as well. And what's it like now to have expectations when you release a video and you're like, okay, so and so's got to pick it up. Who's the first goal that you have when you have a video? You're like, we got to get hit here. What's number one? What's numero uno?
Well, CMT for sure. I mean, their platform is, I mean, huge. I mean, I've watched CMTs as a kid, and the first time I pitched my video to CMT, before I even thought of a publicist, actually CMT turned me down on my first video, and I was crushed, man. I was like, dang, should I go back home now? And so I did not tuck my head in my tail and cry back home. I actually just kept working and kept pushing along and putting music out, and my record or this video is going to go to CMT, I think, in a week or two, and it'll be my 8th video in a row on CMT. So it just shows you persistence wins. Heartland Network's been a big champion of my music. RFD TV's been a big champion of my music. Even Great American Country at one time when they were still a thing. So I've had success on most all of those networks, and I think it's just being persistent and putting out good material. And I've always felt like I've had a great ear for good songs, and living beside a #1 writer for all those years, Mark Nessler really helped help my writing, and I recorded a lot of his songs. I didn't write Cars and Trucks, but the second I heard the song, I'm like, wow, this is a freaking hit. And so I started testing it and recording it, and then I shot the video for it at this auto salvage yard in Antioch, Tennessee. And I would have never thought that salvage yard I shot the video in would have brought this song to life like it did. And so I've had a lot of positive response on it. So I've been very thankful for the fans.
That's cool. Now, as you look to the summer, this summer, how much crazier has the scheduling become? As you look back, I mean, just a couple years ago, I mean, to see your schedule fill up the way it is, and to have folks maybe a bit of a waiting line for JD. How cool is that for you, brother?
Yeah, it's definitely rewarding. I've never been an artist that's lacked on tour dates. I've just been lucky enough to get work, and I think that's how I've been able to keep my band guys around so long and build a reputation on that. I've never been one to sit at home. I'm always hustling gigs, and coming from 2020, which if you remember 2020, I was on the cover. The governor of Kentucky made me the cover boy of the 2020 tourism visitors guide. You're talking 450,000 of those things printed in every hotel room and convention center across the Bluegrass State. Well, in 2020, after that was unveiled in the state capitol, we went to Frankfurt for it, and they unveiled it in front of the governor. It was a huge TV press. Well, tourism came to a screeching halt in March. So I think I lost 83 gigs in March. It was nuts. And so I just stayed positive. My wife was pregnant at the time, which led me to like now, which I'm playing 150 shows a year. And so, even though we lost gigs in 2020, I really felt like I still met the right people. I still had that marketing plan of being on the cover of the cover of the tourism guide. That'll forever. I'll be able forever talking about that. So, I've just always been able to play tour dates and just keep the thing rolling and keep this train rolling. Thankfully.
And you talked about the tourism part of Kentucky, but you've had a lot of support from the state of Kentucky, and how crucial is that for an up and coming artist to know that they've got some backing? I mean, I know that's got to be huge for you emotionally, if nothing more.
It is, man. I tell people all the time, even artists that are not as far as I am, that text me or that message me on Instagram or whatever. I try to help people because no one helped me when I moved to town. Not a single person. I literally learned this on my own. Didn't know anything about the music business. But I really feel like I tell people, really start your career in your home state first. I moved to Nashville after I had a few gigs under my belt. I had somewhat success. I'd opened for 4 or 5 national acts back in Kentucky before I moved to Nashville. I had it at the time. I had an all Kentucky band, and when I moved to Nashville, of course, that split up once we went our separate ways, and I ended up getting a Nashville band. And I found out actually that there was a lot of players down here that were better that were better than me that did this for a living. So it really changed my way of thinking as an artist. But just having the Kentucky support, I always knew that if I couldn't get a gig around Nashville or anywhere else, I could always go back home and play. And that's still been the case. I'm still getting calls. This today I got a phone call to play for a state legislators convention in West Virginia of all places. And so just word of mouth gigs to play in front of all these great people. I feel like I just tell people, keep your website updated, release new material, keep your socials active. And I feel like if you do those things, you can stay busy as long as you want the music business.
And not only keeping active with your socials, but being interactive as well. I mean, that's I think for you, JD, what I've seen from you, I think that's probably numero uno. One of the things I think key to your success, brother, is the way you treat the fans, your friends, kind of
Yeah.
like we see it here on the podcast as well.
Yeah, writing back people, responding, I think it's huge. I mean, you want to keep people's interest. I mean, there's a million artists out there trying to do what I'm doing that are better than me, that have better songs, that have had more success. And like, I want to find a way to keep me at the forefront of their timelines. So I feel like responding to them, I'm verified on Instagram, and Facebook. So when I respond, it goes right to the top of their timeline. And so I definitely want to take time and respond to fans. It does take time to do that, but actually I still enjoy that as an artist. I don't, I've had people say you should let us take over your socials. I'm thinking absolutely not. I mean, I feel like I would if I let a company take over my socials, I would lose that connection with the fans. And at the end of the day, that's how I pay my bills. That's how I get, I've built what I built is through, keeping the connection with the fans and playing shows. And I mean, I love going to shows and actually knowing people by name and remembering them from other gigs. And so I've got this lady that's real quick. I got this lady that's been following me probably 150, 200 shows. And every time I come to a, or she comes to a show, she brings an acoustic guitar and I sign it. She's got hundreds of signatures of like where I played. And so it's like seeing those fans like that. It's like, man, you can go anywhere and follow an artist and you're coming to my shows. I love the fans.
That's right. Now, what's next after cars and trucks for JD this year?
Just pounding the road, man. We're still out touring a lot. I'll shoot a couple more videos this year. I really enjoy shooting videos. I feel like it's a fan bases love it. It's great for socials. It helps me get connected back in the media. And so I'll probably shoot another video or two. Um, you know, Once this if this dies down, when this dies down of the new single. So and then I'll start one thing I'm excited about. I'll start a new record this year, and also I'm almost like a couple songs from a Christmas album, and so I'm going to try to do a Christmas tour this year. So we're in the process of booking some Christmas dates. We've been kind of dabbling in holiday music the last few years. I put a couple singles out every year, and so now I'm like 2 singles from a Christmas record. So I'll be talking Christmas music soon.
That's crazy. Now, talking about the family life, how hard is it to juggle as the little one is growing bigger? Are you spending more time with them on the road as well?
Yeah, you know, I've got a great wife, man. She takes care of Jax when I'm on the road. Uh, never complains about me leaving or taking a gig. She just knows what to do, and I do my thing and come home every night that I can. So she does travel the road with him. Sometimes she came to my show I played a couple weeks ago in Bloomfield, Kentucky. I do a big street concert there every year, and so she got to come up on the bus. We took a bus to that show. We don't take buses to all shows, but we did that particular show, so it allows her to come and bring our son. So he'll be 4 in September, so you know he'll be getting into t-ball soon, and so you know I'm not sure what I'll do when that comes around. Obviously, you know, family first, and you know my dad never missed a game of mine, so I'm darn sure ain't gonna miss one of his. So I'll have to figure that out once we get down that far in the river. So, but he's getting very active and you know talking to me and saying words and making complete sentences. It's wild, man. Just right before I got on this interview tonight, my wife texted me. She's like, "Can you come in his room real quick?" And I just rocked him. He loves to be rocked still, and he sang "Amazing Grace" to me.
Wow.
And so my wife's been teaching Amazing Grace at every night. She surprised me tonight with him singing. I had no idea they were practicing this. So as you can imagine, man, it's pretty wild to see him sing my songs and be able to talk in complete sentences right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, JD, I know that also coming up, another thing we have a connection on is I don't know if I've ever told you this either, but Belterra
No, no way.
Resort, that one of the I ever did interviews was through there. How crazy.
Really?
Mhm. Yep.
What a small world.
That's where I did my very first interview was actually with Joan Jett.
Really? So backstage at Belterra or something?
Yeah, backstage at Belterra. Yeah, that back in 2001, 2002, they only had one row of rooms. They just had one tower. I think they got like three or four now. Yeah, it was so much smaller now. I was looking at the pictures and was like, man, that's a cool place to play too.
Well, I was pumped, man. When they reached out to me about headlining the showroom, I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" It was a win-win for us. We're playing up there August the 31st, and I can't wait to go up there. You know, like I said, it's close to my wife's hometown where your radio career started, which is really freaking cool. And so we've been to Belterra a few times. You know, my wife's father, he loves to go to Belterra, and so when we were home, we go visit him. We would always find a way to go up there on the weekends and hang out. It's got great nightlife, and you know, and now that I'm playing a show there, man, I'm jazzed. But what a cool little memento you have there on your shelf. That's cool.
Yeah, that's funny. I was like, I've got to make sure and share that with you this evening when we visit. But JD, always want to make sure and let all of our listeners, our viewers know where they keep up with everything. I know how simple it is, but we always gotta at least let them know, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, anything you want to connect with us, to find out more about my music, Spotify, and our videos, and even tour dates, go to my website, jdshelburne.com. Everything will link there. We just started a new monthly fan club right back in February. It's been an amazing way to meet the fans. You guys can join the fan club from my website, listen to my music, my videos, all things about my career is on jdshelburne.com. And I would love to get your followers over to my place to check out what's the latest news on where we're at in our career and cars and trucks, the new video that's out right now. So I appreciate you directing them there.
That's right. Well, go by, check him out, and of course, if he's out and about in your area, go and see him. You're gonna enjoy the show, I guarantee. Our good friend of the show, JD Shelburne. Always great to see you, brother. Continued success, and you make it over mid America, Oklahoma way. Look forward to catching up again.
You too, man. I hope to see you soon. I'd love to play out there.